ডায়াসপোরা পিপল। ডায়াসপোরা পিপল কি? হু, যিনি কোনো একটা দেশে বাস করেন কিন্তু উনি ওই দেশের অধিবাসী না। ওকে, যেমন আদিব খান। আদিব খান হ্যাজ বিন লিভিং ইন অস্ট্রেলিয়া অ্যান্ড হি হ্যাজ বিন প্রডিউসিং লিটারেচার in English, but the Austrian literature say that this literature is not the part of Australian literature. They say that it is diaspora literature. Diaspora কি? That means এই রাইটার জন্মগ্রহণ করেছে কোথায়? বাংলাদেশে, এরপরে অস্ট্রেলিয়াতে এসে ইংরেজি ভাষায় কবিতা লিখছে। So such kind of writer can be called diaspora literature. But in case of T.S. Eliot, England বলছে T.S. Eliot was born in America. And next time T.S. Eliot shifted in Britain, and in 1913 he published J. Alfred Prokop, Love Song of J. Alfred Prokop. Okay, and he got British citizenship in 1928. ব্রিটেন বলছে যে টি.এস. এলিয়টের যে সাহিত্য সেটা ইংরেজি সাহিত্য, এটাকে বলছে না যে এটা হলো কি ডায়াসপোরা লিটারেচার, because T.S. Eliot was born in America and then he settled in Britain and he started producing literature in English language. Same thing happened to Adib Khan and also Monica Ali. Adib Khan and Monica Ali, they were born in Bangladesh and then next time went to Australia and England and they got the citizenship of Australia and England and they started producing literature in English. But they say that this is not our English literature, this is what type of literature? That is the diaspora literature. That incident happened into this writer, that is now and Bradstead. এই ভদ্র মহিলা, ইনি একজন মোস্ট প্রমিনেন্ট আর্লি ইংলিশ পোয়েটস অফ নর্থ আমেরিকাতে উনি ওর রাইটার, and the first writer in England's North American colonies to be published. Who? That is Anne Bradstreet. And she is the first Puritan figure in American literature. Yeah. Massachusetts, there are 13 colonies. In the 13 colonies, England went over there. And in this where there was a queen that is called Bloody Mary. Okay, the Bloody Mary started punishing the Puritan of England. And that Puritan left England and went to America. And they established, starting their position in Massachusetts and the neighboring 13 colonies state of America. Queen Virginia state আমেরিকার, যে ভার্জিনিয়া স্টেটে অনেক হাড্ডাহাড্ডি লড়া হয়, এই 13টা প্রদেশই হলো পিউরিটানরা ইংল্যান্ড থেকে বিতাড়িত হয়ে ওখানে হচ্ছে জায়গা গ্রহণ করেছিল এবং সেখানে তারা কি করেছিল, তাদের যে পিউরিটানিজম সেখানে এস্টাবলিশ করেছিল। So this Anne Bradstreet is one of the Puritan writer established his position in Latin America. Okay, and this Anne Bradstreet, because her poems are published in England, he was born and brought up in Latin America and his poem was published in England. Okay, one condition, and there not being facilities available in the colonies at that time. তার আসলে আমেরিকাতে, ল্যাটিন আমেরিকাতে তার কবিতা প্রকাশের সে সুযোগ ছিল না, and could finally be resolved. American literature may have taken English writer as models, but American writers were developing separately in terms of means of production as well as subject matter and form. Okay, so American literature, Latin American literature, they had been producing literature in English language. Okay, so and Bradstreet, she also wrote literature and published in England. Because what is the reason? Because in North America there was no opportunity to get his literary writing published, and for this reason he did so. But apart from this, we have got the other reason. What is the other reason? Actually, Latin America started developing their own culture. They said, the Latin American people, they said that actually our literature is great. It is different from the perspective of literature of England. Though it is in England, Though it is written in English language, itself it has an identity. Latin American literature এবং তার রাইটাররা বলল যে যদিও এটা ইংরেজিতে লেখা তাহলে এটাকে আমরা বলবো না this is the part of England's literature or English literature. It is a part of Latin American literature. So Latin American literature got an individual identity and perspectives. And that was started after what? After the independence of America in 1976. So, and the publishing, censorship, stylistic constant, and the host of other legacies from the Spain and Portugal, and nevertheless seeing revolutionary struggle as linked to the emergence of new literature. So, actually, the Latin American literature got fueled by the emerging new literature in Latin America. So their heritage was English language, but their literature, that means Latin American literature, Spain literature, they had a different identity, individual identity in terms of literature, culture, folk, myths, and other lyricism in every perspective, and that was inspired after the independence of America in 1776. So literary development in the New World reflected a new order, a complete contrast in the attitude of colonial power to the literature produced by the peoples under the domination. Probably the most extreme example of the Philistine version of a famous comment by Macaulay, who is in 1835 stated that, so one country had been dominating other country. The dominating country had their literature, and the country who was dominated by the other country, they had their literature. But after 1776, every country, especially the Latin America, they started to put their own identity. And that was the cultural contrast. And the Philistine, the writer, stated in 1835 that I have never found one among the Orientalists. Orientalist means the Asian subcontinent. Orient means Prachya and Paschatya. Paschatya means the European country, and Prachya means Asian, this purpose. So this Macaulay, the former British secretary and the historian and the essayist, Macaulay Commission, ইনি অনেক ম্যাপ স্টাডিও করেছেন। সেই সময় মানুষের অনেক ম্যাকুলেন লাইনও আছে। উনি পলিটিশিয়ান ছিলেন, স্টেটম্যান ছিলেন, এবং ইন্ডিয়ান সাবকন্টিনেন্টে ওনার অনেক বেশি কন্ট্রিবিউশন আছে বিভিন্ন ক্ষেত্রে, পলিটিক্যালি অ্যান্ড ইন দ্য আদার আসপেক্ট। উনি বললেন যে আই হ্যাভ নেভার ফাউন্ড ওয়ান অ্যামং দেম, দ্যাট মিনস দ্য ওরিয়েন্টালিস্ট, হু কুড deny a single shelf of the European library was worth the whole native literature of India and Arabia. বলছি আমাদের সেমিনারে কয়টা শেলফ আছে? নতুন অবস্থায় গিয়েছেন, এখানে 10-12টা শেলফ আছে। ওকে, ম্যাকুলে বলল আমাদের ইউরোপিয়ান ব্রিটিশ লাইব্রেরির কথাই বললাম, যে ব্রিটিশ লাইব্রেরির একটা শেলফে যে পরিমাণ বই আছে, ইন্ডিয়া এবং আরবে যতগুলো লাইব্রেরি আছে, যতগুলো বই আছে, যতগুলো রাইটিং আছে, এই একটা শেলফের সমান। Who said? Macaulay said. How much disregard, eh? So I have recently never met with the Orientalists who ventured to maintain the Arabic and the Sanskrit poetry could be compared to that of the great European nations. And again he said that yes, that Arabic and the Asian literature cannot be compared with European literature. So that is what I said, that is said the literary monopoly. Literary monopoly, the literary imperialism. Imperialism means our, that means the European literature is great and other literature is nothing. Just with the comment of Macaulay, that was happened in 1835. This man, without masters, the British historian and the weak politician, wrote extensively as an essayist on contemporary and the historical socio-political subject as a reviewer. So Lord Macaulay's attack on the cultural heritage of the Middle East and the Indian subcontinent strike us today as both racist and absurd. That means we can call that Macaulay can't say so. Actually, Macaulay can be a chauvinistic person. Macaulay loved his country and literature much, and for this reason he said that actually, your literature is less important. So Macaulay's comment is very much racist and absurd. Absurd means it's not rational. Absurdity. There is no logic behind this comment. What's comment? That is Macaulay's comment. Yet the underlying assumption of Macaulay's position were widely shared. Edward Fitzgerald, whose translation of the Rubaiyat Umar Khayyam, ম্যাকৌলে কি বলছেন যে আরবিক সাহিত্যে এবং ইন্ডিয়ান সাহিত্যে এরকম কোনো গুরুত্বপূর্ণ রাইটিং না, এবং এটা ইউরোপের একটা লাইব্রেরির একটা সেলফের সমান তাদের লিটারেচার। কিন্তু যখন Fitzgerald, an English poet and the writer, his most famous poem, his first and the best known for English translation of Rubaiyat Umar Khayyam, a part of Arabic literature, এটাকে উনি কি করলেন? ইংরেজিতে ট্রান্সলেশন করলেন। Translation করার পরে who has kept its reputation and popularity since in 1960 decade. So when Fitzgerald got translated this Rubaiyat Umar Khayyam, one of the great classic poem in the 19th century, who had low opinion of the Oriental literature, it is an instrumental to me. He wrote to the friend Cromwell on March 20th, 1857, to take the liberties I like this Persian who, as